morning, and we are live here at the Charles Clay Show. Thank you guys for joining. We have Shawn Clay. We have Shawn Clay actually live on the air right now. Today's show, we're going to be talking about a lot about Donald Trump winning. We're going to be talking a lot about Nicki Minaj's video that she did. A lot of people don't know she actually was on a interview overseas with a Italian, actually an English guy. We're going to be talking more about that. Handicap parking is a big thing that we're going to be talking more about as well. A lot of viewers, if you're tuning in live on YouTube, you can tune in live right now on YouTube at Charles Clay, thecharlesclayshow.com. I'm going to actually check right now and see if we're live. Shawn, are you on the air?
Yes, I am. Good morning, bro. Good morning, everybody who's watching, listening.
Okay, we are live right now, and I am actually going to see if we are up and on live, because it takes a while. So the only thing you have to do is go to YouTube, type in the Charles Clay Show, and once you type in the Charles Clay Show, if you click on my yellow logo, it's actually going to say live now, which right now is actually showing us live here in the background. I'm going to turn down this volume so that way you won't be able to see us, but I can actually see you guys. Shawn, you're able to see me on your end?
Looking right now.
Okay. This right here is also, I'm kind of a little backed up, being that I'm trying to do multiple things at one time, but give me 1 second. This is a live show, so I gotta hook my teleprompter up.
I'm trying to look right now. Okay, dude. You just get up or something like that? Yeah, you're live, bro.
Alrighty, as you can see, I actually have, I'm going to show you guys today kind of behind the scenes as well as how it actually works. This is actually my show's teleprompter, and this actually tells me exactly what to say. And I actually can control it with this mouse right here. So we're going to be talking about homeless people.
What's going on is that you're talking, but you're not talking. You understand?
You're going to hear me time delay, Shawn.
Okay.
But what I'm going to do right now, and I'm going to put you towards my speaker so that way you will be louder. So give me 1 moment.
All right.
You're going to be a little time delayed.
Okay. You're looking good, bro.
Thanks. It's going to be a little time delay. Just give me 2 seconds. Testing. 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 Now, Shawn, can you talk right now?
Yeah, I can talk.
Okay, let me just make sure you're loud enough so they can hear you. Try talking now.
Yes, good morning.
All right.
Everyone who's listening in, everyone who's watching.
Give me 1 second. I'm sorry, guys. We actually got 2 people that are watching right now.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you see that.
Hump day, everybody. Hump day, hump day. You know, at one point in time, I never knew what the hell hump day meant. And then I'm like, oh, okay, it's the middle of the week because you got Monday, Tuesday, then you got hump day, then you got Thursday, Friday, so the hump is in the middle.
Yeah, hump day.
I never knew that. I just thought it was people being nasty and fresh off the damn rib.
Okay, give me 1 second because I got you. All right, try talking now. And I'm going to see if I can hear you.
Okay.
Keep talking. Keep talking.
We are live.
Keep talking.
We are live. Live. Live.
Oh, okay, you're coming from the back. Okay, now I see. Now talk.
We are live. We are live.
Okay, that's better. You're going to sound like you're echoing, but you're not echoing over here.
Okay. Yeah, we are live.
Okay. Now, what we're going to talk about today is we're talking about, like I said, this is my teleprompter. And this tells me exactly what I need to be saying, guys. And normally, most of the time, I normally forget what I'm saying. So this, I put, a lot of people wrote me in and said, how do you memorize most of the things that you're saying? Actually, I don't. When I'm on live air, or even when, sometimes I freestyle, I'm not going to lie. But when I'm not freestyling, I'm literally reading the teleprompter. And this is exactly how the teleprompter looks. So I'm actually going to put this in back so that way I can literally read my cue of what I have to say.
Yeah.
Some people know what that is and some people don't. But that's actually called a teleprompter. And that basically keeps me in cue to what literally I'm supposed to be doing, you know, at my best, if I can position it to a certain point, which I can. Hold on. Which in this case, I can't.
There's going to be something that you can do about that, right?
About what?
As far as you talking and talking at the same exact time your mouth is moving.
No, that's not. Because, Shawn, what's happening is you're looking at a time delay. So what people are actually seeing right now, they're seeing a regular video. You're actually live with me, so the amount of time that it takes for my voice to transmission through the phone is going to be different from the time that they're actually seeing me live on the television, on their cell phone. So you have to disregard that. And overall, they're literally and overall they're looking at a regular video. But you're seeing it because you're actually on the telephone and then you're actually looking at a video. So it's looking at you're looking at 2 different times. And it could be time differential by 2 to 3 minutes. 2 to 3 seconds. So in your case, it may look like I'm time delayed, which I am. So right now in the headlines, we're going to talk about homeless people. Homeless people that are homeless in New York City. And like I said, I'm reading the teleprompter, so I won't forget exactly what I have to say. And then we're going to move on to our next topic, which is about Donald Trump. All right? And we'll talk more about Donald Trump winning the primaries. And he's going against, most likely, they're saying on the news, Hillary Clinton. And like I said, I'm not going to tell you who I'm voting for, but we'll talk about that later. But moving on with the Charles Clay Show, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in, the ones who are tuning in live at this broadcast. And we're going to continue with the homelessness, homes for the homeless people. Throughout the U.S. history, homeless people becomes a problem. It becomes not only a city problem, whatever city you live in, it becomes a national problem. It is literally a financial crisis. In 2008, a lot of people contributing to different factors such as a lack of living, if it's only in whether it's affordable housing, mental illness, alcoholism, poverty, or dysfunctional families. A lot of people are actually living in shelters, and some people are not. Homeless people are staggering with over 1,000,001 less likely homeless people are in the streets of New York City. Transitional housing is only available open during the year in certain cities such as Chicago and certain parts of New York. There are 700,000 Americans that experience homelessness in any given night. And the American U.S. government has made a stride to limit or increase the homeless population. So homelessness is, you know, really becoming a very big problem, especially in states that are very cold. People are literally dying while they are, you know, out there on the streets. And for us to pass by them, they are literally, you know, thinking that we don't care. It's a very sad case. Understanding the homeless is more than a merged statistic. While the homelessness may be easily noticed in larger cities such as New York and Chicago, they are unseen in communities and smaller cities. As the Midwestern, the winter turns into a brutal, harsh, and different reporters had covered it, but they don't look too much into it, to my ability. I don't feel like a lot of people are acknowledging different people that are homeless, and it's beginning to bother me. It begins to bother me because how many times you're in New York City and you're walking past a homeless person and do not give them a quarter or do not give them food or do not wonder where they should go to find some type of shelter. My interest in telling you this story began on a cold day several years ago of March 2010 while working at Madison Square Garden in downtown Manhattan. I came across a homeless guy named Reggie. A homeless man was sitting right on the corner of 34th Street in Lexington, and I asked Reggie if I can help him, and he agreed. He sat there huddled on the ground and holding his hand, scrolled up with a cardboard sign that read, "I'm injured and homeless and hungry. Please help and have a wonderful, blessed day." People walked right by him, a few dropping a few cents of change in a cup. While this scene has became repeatedly many a times across the country. The homeless in smaller parts of the towns had became a larger unseen and really talked about. That's why I think I'm talking about it now. Other people have came across homeless people, have helped, and some have not. Located in the basement of a church, there is a shelter that provided 15 people for homeless people who came between the hours of 9 p.m. and 7 a.m. The deeply personal stories of people that provided some insight of the pilot of this difficult time had became a tragic, because if they were not there at 9 o'clock, it became a soaring type of problem with people living outside during these fridge temperatures, below 10 degrees temperatures, and dying. This guy was actually bundled up in multi-layers of warm clothing, and each night he began to line up at 7 p.m. hoping to be the 15 choosing to have a place to sleep for that night. I met Reggie at an entrance right by his homeless shelter, which I wanted to see what a homeless person goes through. So I went with him to this homeless shelter right there in the Bronx, and he had to line up between 9 p.m. and 2 a.m. And then I asked him, what do he do to try to prevent him from being hurt out in the streets? I wanted to know. Growing up in FarRockaway, Queens, I wanted to find out more about how people live their lives. Because, Shawn, a lot of people that are homeless, best to believe it, some of them have high school diplomas and college degrees, and then they life turned around and being homeless like this. I'm sure we know a few people, right, that literally became homeless, and they're living in the streets of New York City. When I was growing up, my mother would take my sister and me to places to feed and help the homeless people in churches. With Christmas dinners, we picked up, and we also rode around on buses, and she showed me how to continue to acknowledge these people and not look past them and just think that they some dirty old people on the streets, or probably assume that they are people that are just doing drugs. One lady introduced herself to me, and she said she initially did not want to be interviewed, but after a few minutes she opened up and began to tell me her story. Her name was Melissa. Melissa has also been homeless for 4 years. She left the crew cut shelter and began panhandling on the streets in FarRockaway, Queens. This became very deep because this was the city that I grew up. I asked her if she wanted to be photographed or interviewed, and she said no. But then she thought about it, and she expressed herself to me. She said she probably thinks she needs to be interviewed and photographed because she really wanted people to know and think differently of her homelessness. Now, when I spoke to Greg, going back to Greg, there were times when he got at the shelter at 9:01, and like I said, 15 minutes. If he did not get to the homeless shelter within 15 minutes, the doors were closed. And guess what? He had to literally sleep either in the subway station or in the streets. Many people every year die from being homeless and sleeping outside in the street. The next gentleman I met, his name was John, he was very reluctant. He was very, very reluctant to be an interview, but I reconsidered to help him if he told his story. He did not want to be identified by a greed or have anything, photographed about him. His eyes was very watery and his voice spoke in volumes. John said he's been homeless for 12 years, and he admitted to having made bad decisions. Unfortunately, it led him to his homeless. He said he had a job at Walmart during the third shift, only to be homeless during the day. John explained that he had a degree in the Institute for Foods but did not make enough money. Eventually, he had got a job at Train Corporation somewhere in Brooklyn. He said so this was going to be a good job. Unfortunately, after working there for 7 months, the company decided to close and move to Mississippi. So on this note, John said that he was able to move to Mississippi with them. So some stories coming out for a person being homeless can end good, but some can turn out worse. Now, John works from 10 to 7 a.m. and on his days off he sleeps in a shelter in the winter. If he can get in when he is done with his work, he spends most of his day finding something to do, or he tries to find a place to sleep. In the summer, he can sleep outside, but during the winter, it is hard. This week, he works 4 days straight. He looked down and said, "I usually don't get much sleep." John hopes to save enough money to find a place of his own, but it seems like a long way is off. He talks about his brothers and his sisters, but he says they can't help him much. As I walked around the homeless shelter, I was amazed to see what I saw. Large people in blankets laying, pulled tight, straggling over their beards. They looked at me and said, "Can you help me?" It was very touching, Shawn. I could tell you it was very touching. Some people very much so told their stories, and others looked at me in a gruntly way and felt like, what could you do for me? Or thought that they were going to be judged right away. In the corner was a line of shoes from the homeless who had made it into the shelter for the evening. Nearby, there was turquoise bins with numbers 1 through 15 written on the top of them. The homeless put their few belongings into each one of these every evening. In the center of the room, Greg and his cardboard protest sign at his feet dimmed fluorescent light over his head. With a short pause, George began to play a beautiful rendition of Green Leaf. He started playing a song, and I was like, wow, this is what he do to smooth the rest of the 15 people that were right there inside the homeless shelter. So they try to make life to their fullest. In the moment, he said that he was done. The concert was over. He said he always wanted to be a magician, so that's why he literally was saying. He said, but when he wakes up to reality, literally, his dream is over. He said he thanks God that he is still alive. And he said goodbye to everyone and then closed his eyes and went to sleep, wondering what life could be like if he wasn't homeless. But guess what? At 7 a.m., he would be asked to leave from the shelter. The next evening, I went back to take a photo of the homeless linen up once again, hoping to be one of the fortunate 15. Tonight was a cold day, with the wind chills below 5 degrees. As I asked permission to take photos, I looked at a man on the left, and it was John. I set up my cameras across the street and began shooting. I looked through to find John smoking a cigarette and the wind whispering against the swift of his face. I knew he was standing in the cold just for me. As I shot the frame, I waved goodbye to John and I said thanks. He turned back and waved and said, "Thank you, Charles, for really interviewing me, and hopefully this would touch a lot of people." It was crazy for me when I walked away because I said he have to keep reliving this life over and over again. And when I spoke to him as leaving, I looked through the viewfinder and caught a glimpse of him walking back into the shelter to get a glass of water. It was very heartbreaking to see this guy walk back into the shelter and know, like I said, he had to live this over again. 5 foot tall, 7 inches of snow followed by -6-degree temperatures with 15 miles per hour winds, I wondered if John and Greg would ever be warm tonight. Instead of just resting my head every night at home watching TV, I thought about these homeless people and I said, wow, being homeless must be very big struggle. So please acknowledge them when you see them, and I thank you for tuning into this. We're going to talk more about it with Shawn, you know, living in a homeless shelter myself. I've lived in a homeless shelter, and I'm sure most of you guys can touch bases of living in a homeless shelter. Shawn, what do you have to say about that story?
That story is really touching. For me, growing up, and you know, and all of that.
Okay.
You know, I witnessed a lot of that. And plenty of times I have walked past, you know, these homeless people as well. I've always thought about the struggles that they must have been going through.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just really touching. It really is. It really is.
Now, Shawn, let me ask you, what do you feel? Have you ever felt like, have you ever gave money to a homeless person, to be honest with you? Honest.
Yes. Yes, plenty of times.
And when you gave them money, did you, I'm not going to lie, Shawn, I gave them money, and I felt like when I gave them the money, they were going to go out and do drugs right away. That's my first reaction. Did you ever feel that way?
Yeah.
And have you ever been homeless, to be honest with you? Could you tell us the story?
Well, I've been homeless. Yeah. I've been homeless shelter. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and say, yes, I have been in a homeless shelter. Yes, it was very difficult for me to be in a homeless shelter. I was in the EAU. I'm sure a lot of people out there know what that's about. Actually got my first apartment due to being in the EAU. And now I am where I am now.
Oh, okay. I've never...
There was an incident a while back, and it was a lady by Queensbridge, and I was going to work, and I had, actually I wasn't going to work, I was going to pick up my set, and I had my son with me, and the lady was sitting there, and she was asking for money, you know, and I felt so bad for her. I don't know what her situation was. I know she was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And I handed her $2. Well, actually, I had her $2. And she thanked me so much she was hungry. And she went in the chicken spot right there on the Queensbridge and actually bought 2 pieces of chicken wings and ate it. She was pregnant right there on Queensbridge. I've seen her again maybe months after coming back from Coney Island. And you know, she handed Shawn $5. She said, "Here you go." And I said, no, that's okay. She said, she said, "I'll never forget." She said, "You gave me money when I was hungry. I was pregnant with my baby, and you handed me $2. You had him hand me $2. She said, "I'll never forget. Here you go, sweetheart." And she handed my son $5. This is the woman that was homeless on the Queensbridge asking for money. She was on the chicken shop to get her something to eat. And I seen her go to them. You know, so there's a lot of people that you don't know what their situations are. You don't.
Sure, give me one moment. I'm going to hook you up to the phone. The home phone, because I don't like the way you're sounding on this regular phone. Give me 1 second. Just pick up. That's going to be me on the other line.
Okay.
That's me calling you on the other line.
Okay, I got it.
Okay. Let me just put you on. Start talking. Let's see if we can hear a little bit better on that.
The number or code you have dialed is incorrect. Please check the number or code
Let me see. Give me 1 second. We are live once again. Yeah, I'm sorry. See if we can hear you a little bit better. Talk.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Alright. I'm trying to see if this is a little bit better. Alright, so finish telling your story. I'm sorry.
Okay. I don't see you being live anymore. Okay.
Yeah, I am live still.
You don't know what a person's situation is. I've noticed that it's a lot of veterans that's homeless. We've got a lot of people that's homeless due to, home disasters, fire disasters. There's numerous amount of things that could have happened. That's why that person is homeless. And I feel like everybody should take in consideration to that.
Mm-hmm.
That one lady that I've seen that was pregnant, she told me, I don't want you to think I'm going to do drugs or anything, sweetheart. She said, I'm going right here to get me something to eat. And she went and got her something to eat.
Wow.
I just feel like you don't know a person's situation, It wasn't even just because she was pregnant. It's just, I looked at her like, that's a woman, and she's out here.
Correct.
I feel the same way about men as well that's out there, that's homeless. It was just for the fact she was just a woman and she was pregnant,
Did you find this live, Shawn?
No, I got it live with you.
All right, go back in it because it's still, I'm seeing myself. It says live now.
Okay.
I'm seeing it on YouTube. I'm not going to go to it because it's going to echo because I got you on the phone.
Yeah.
So you have experienced that. That's pretty deep.
Yeah.
That's pretty deep.
And a lot of people been to the homeless shelters and hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
No. A lot of people been to homeless shelters. Like I said, I've been to one, and I know a lot of people that have been to one. And I'm not going to sit here and say I'm embarrassed that I did that. I was in a situation, like I said, that was the first time I was, got my own apartment. And I felt good about myself, and I had 2 children at that time, and I had to do what I had to do.
Wow. Correct. I hear you. I hear you. So,
New York City is really a very expensive place to live, I would have to say. It's really expensive out there.
Yeah. The reason why I wanted to do this show, to be honest with you, is because about the homes for the homeless, is because, it takes 5 seconds. Do you see us live now, Shawn? Just let me know when you see us.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. When you see literally a homeless person, it takes 2 seconds for you to see them and for you to be in their lives, in their shoes. Well, I wouldn't even say shoes, but it would be 2 seconds for you to be in their shoes. I mean, in their lives, by giving them change, and then you continue on with your life. But to literally be not in their shoes is very deep, because a lot of people don't really take the initiative to say that could be me one day. I'm not going to mention no names, but I was on the phone with someone, one of your friends, and it was someone that I went to school with, and they said she was panhandling in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, because we actually grew up with this person, and this person never would meet for any reason whatsoever. And it's really sad, like, how you could just, your life can just completely change over a matter of time due to, like I said, situations. You never know what a person's situation is. So you cannot sit up there and judge anyone.
Mm-hmm. You're right. You're so right.
And I want to say, and I want to give a respectful shout out to the person, not the person we're talking about, but the person that actually acknowledged that person and seeing that person go through what that person was going through at that time and lended a helping hand. I want to give a shout out to that person. Mm-hmm. You know who he is.
Wow. That's pretty deep. Don't forget, there's a chat session open up on the Charles Clay Show. I'm looking at us live. If you guys wanted to go on and chat or say anything and don't want a phone call, or if you want a phone call, you able to call or email the Charles Clay Show at gmail.com. And even if you have a topic, even if you want to be interviewed, we can definitely put you on three-way. We definitely can talk to you about any other thing. Now, moving on in the news, of course, I am going to talk about this man right here. I'm not sure if you guys see, but I am going to talk about this man right here. And I got my tablet just to show you exactly what I'm going to talk about. And they're saying right now in the news is going to be Trump. Looking at, let me just read some of the headlines. I was watching CNN yesterday, and they are saying that Trump is going to be the nominee up with Hillary Clinton. It's some big news. Cruz actually dropped out. We got 2 people watching, Shawn. That's good.
Really? Thank you for watching and listening in and tuning in.
Yeah.
Actually, Cruz actually headbutted his wife a couple of times. Did you see it?
What you said?
Well, not headbutt. I'm sorry. He actually kind of elbowed his wife a little bit with his elbow and kind of snuffed her a little bit while giving someone a hug when he actually said he was dropping out.
Wow, I didn't see it.
I've seen that.
Wow. That's crazy. But yeah, Cruz actually dropped out, which puts automatically, if you reading, been up to date in the news, that gives Trump a big head in the news, because that means that it's going to be Trump going against Hillary Clinton. This is going to be a very tough one, because we're talking about someone who has a lot of money, someone who doesn't run on fanny packs. Fanny packs are basically people who are buying them, so to speak. Trump is running on his own money and going against Hillary Clinton. A lot of people best to get, all I have to say, they need to get out there and vote. You really need to get out there and vote.
Your vote counts, everyone. Everyone, your vote counts. Stop what you're doing and go out and vote. Your vote does count.
Yes. And these 2 people are going to be running against each other, Hillary and Trump. And you guys need to go out there and vote. And if you even want to get on air and talk to us about how you feel about everything, feel free. You're more than welcome to call or email the Charles Clay Show, and you definitely can go live. You definitely can go live every morning between 8 and 9, Monday through Friday. Me and Shawn will be live. Is that right, Shawn?
That's correct. Another thing, if you know me, you can actually, hit me up, and I can put you through, and, you let me know what you want to talk about, or, you have any, I'm looking at you. Wow.
You're looking at, go ahead.
So it's just showing you a prompt about the homelessness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, get in contact with Shawn, like she said. If anyone,
hit me up,
yeah,
and I can push you through. If you want to talk about what's going on, you want to talk about anything that's going on out in the world, your issues, just issues throughout. We can talk about it. No holds barred.
I wanted to actually give a shout out to Candy too, because I spoke with Gary Michael, and Gary Michael said that they're gonna see if Candy would want to interview with us, Shawn.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Shawn, we got 3 people watching us. Shawn, we got 3 people watching us now. Hey, whoever that is, you can actually write. You can write in the chat field if you want to talk. You can just say, hey, what's up? Whoever else is watching us. It's 3 people. It dropped back down to 2. I don't know who that was. They came on and left. But you can definitely go down in the chat field and start typing. And we can actually see them, Shawn, when they type in the chat field. You see the little chat field marks on YouTube?
Yes.
Yeah, they can write there too if they, are shocked. Some people are going to be watching this video too after it airs, because right after it airs, it's going to go in the archives and they'll be able to watch it later on.
Yes.
So
what we're letting you know is that we're live right now, that you can actually, like Charlie said, email him. You can get in contact with me. You know me like that. You got my number. Hit me on Facebook. We can talk about whatever.
And if you go, what I wanted to tell you is if you go, and I'm going to show you here on the screen, if you go to Charles Clay Charles Clay here at on your cell phone, if you look, let me just put this down real quick, Shawn. But if you look right here, it will actually say live now. And that's what you will click on. This is actually the main page of the YouTube site. You type in Charles Clay at the top, Charles Clay Show, and these are all the previous videos. And then this is actually the video that's actually happening right now, and that's live. And I'm actually doing it live. So you guys could literally tune in and definitely hit us up. Let us know how you feel. Shawn is being a great guest. We're going to be talking about a lot of other things. We can move on to some... Yeah, we can move on to...
Real quick, bro. I want to give a big shout out to FarRockaway Queen.
FarRockaway Queen, she'd like to give a shout out to? All right. That's what I'm talking about.
Big shout out to FarRockaway.
Say that again. Say that again so they can hear you.
Yeah, I want to give a big shout out to FarRockaway. Stay up, baby.
Stay up. She said she wants to give a big shout out. Okay, that's the way the mic is. So let's see if I can fix this. Hold on. There you go. Say your shout out now, Shawn.
Okay. Shout out to FarRockaway. FarRockaway Queens, New York.
Redfern. And we need to get another. I want to have a show too about some mothers that either their child got killed there in FarRockaway, or you know they're going through a lot there in FarRockaway. Redfern, the new Redfern, how the new Redfern is. Feel free. We got 5 more minutes on the air. This show is an hour, and then we're done for the day. But it's a lot of things that I want to talk about that you guys need to either get in contact with Shawn via Facebook or me via Facebook and say, hey, Charlie, I want to be interviewed. And we would be more than happy to interview you because the viewers are going up. Subscribe. The first thing you want to do is subscribe for the Charles Clay Show here on YouTube. And look at us. We're going to be live every day. If it's not Shawn, it's just going to be me here every day from 8 to 9 o'clock, Monday through Friday. And let us know how you feel. Literally let us know how you feel. We got a big margin. I want everybody to spread the news because this is our way we can communicate with a lot of different people and we can touch a lot of different lives. So whatever concern, let them know your voice could be heard. If you wanted to ever get on the show and let people know how you feel, let us know how you feel and keep watching our videos. Next 4 minutes we have, what do you want to talk about, Shawn?
Well, I just wanted to say that Mother's Day is coming Sunday, and I want to give a big shout out to all the mothers that's out there doing the damn thing. The single mothers, the married mothers, the fiancé mothers, the stepmothers, the fathers that's taking the job as mothers and fathers as well. I want to give a big shout out to them. If y'all want to talk about that, we can talk about that as well. Like Charles said, please subscribe to the Charles Clay Show. And you know, we're here. We're here to listen to your input on anything. Like I said, we're open to anything, any topic whatsoever. We're open.
Also, another thing I want to get out to, if you live in South Jamaica, Queens, anyone on my Facebook, I repeat, and I'm gonna Shawn can even attach this video because this video is gonna be on my site. Anyone who wants to be interviewed, anyone who have any suggestions, anyone who wants to make a phone call and come up with a show idea or anything like that, anyone who have suggestions for the show or anything like that, they're more than welcome to let us know. Because this is right now our only way. We got to get these viewers up. And so far it's doing pretty good, Shawn. Looking at the statistics on the views, a lot of people are tuning in and watching these videos. So far on the statistics, I have over 275 people who have watched the videos of the Charles Clay Show. And I really appreciate it. It's going to get even more better. We're going to talk about...
Thank y'all.
Yeah, thank y'all so much. It really goes a long way. I'd really like to thank Gary, Michael, and Candy. Candy wants to be interviewed. Candy, get in contact with me via Facebook. Gary, thank you. Tamika, everybody, I really appreciate it. Nicole, our camp family. And Sherry, I do want to interview you. I do want to interview one of your friends, Shawn. You know who I'm talking about, Big Papa. I want to interview a lot of people, so don't forget. Once this video go viral and everybody start, coming in and saying, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that, it's gonna be too late because we're gonna have a lot. I already got like 4 or 5 interviews lined up, so let's get it on and popping. Blue, I definitely want to interview you. Blue, yeah, Blue's been doing pretty good out there. God bless your father. He looks just like you. That's your twin. Carlos from Making a Band, I want to interview you.
What up, Carlos?
Yeah, Carlos. He just recently went to Jamaica. I seen that on Facebook.
Beautiful. He's a beautiful person. Always has been a beautiful person.
There's a lot of things that is going to be catching up. Let me know how y'all like my theme song. How y'all like my theme song? How you like the theme song, Shawn, for the show?
I love the theme song. I love the theme song.
The theme show is coming up or whatever like that. So, you know, just let us know exactly how y'all feel. And, you know, it is so much.
Let us know what's the topics that y'all guys want to discuss as well.
Exactly.
You know, we could discuss anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, y'all the viewers, we trying to make everybody happy here. Just subscribe to the Charles Clay Show.
Subscribe, like, and definitely join so that way we can literally make this a big, nice show. And on that note, we are going to end with my signature ending theme. And here it is. I can't put it on this, but it's actually going to be on the computer. This is actually how I edit. Here it is. Stay tuned. That was that signature theme song. Until next time, you guys, thank you for tuning in. And I'll speak to you guys later. And don't forget, subscribe for the Charles Clay Show. We are going to be live tomorrow from 8 to 9 o'clock. Thank you again, Shawn.